Okay, just sent you the link. Anybody out there in the chat might be a little bit early, but hey, we're just getting ready to get going here with the Endzone Live.
Let's get the YouTube chat monitoring. Come on. There we go. All right. Is the two watching, does that count as us two?
Yeah, probably. Well, what?
All right, let's see. Let's get the chat, pop-up chat going. There we go. All right. Come on in, visit us. Woo, 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 woo.
Uh-oh. Jen's here. We can start. Jen's here.
Yay, Jen.
The stomp is in the house. Hey, we are up to 72 subscribers.
That's good. All right.
Are we ready, good sir, to start calling some plays?
Let me just do a quick little Twitter real quick.
Twitter, kill, Twitter.
Nice. That's good. Kill. There was a lot of fans last week that were speculating about that. All right.
I heard a LaMonica and Joe Montana come out of Derek Carr's mouth.
Yeah.
LaMonica, Joe Montana.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh, I need to do one other thing here before I forget.
All right. Let's see here. Boom. And not that end zone.
It's that end zone that's week. Yeah, that's right.
It was da.
Kevin, I'm just going to Vulcan you out right now. I'm Vulcan my way out here.
Yeah. God, that was so funny. Love that show. All righty. Let's do this. Yeah, you got all the soundboard ready and everything.
And we are ready to go. So let's start the drive into the end zone. And welcome to the latest edition of the End Zone with myself, Kyle Wagner, and of course, my co-host and co-founder, Kevin, you don't know me, Reitzel.
I see what you did there. Yeah, a little Showgirls reference there, like that. I threw the ball and you caught it. You ran with it. It was good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
You know, people are going, wait, why are you doing the End Zone now? We still have Monday Night Football to go. We even have Tuesday Night Football this week, but that's part of the problem.
We have Tuesday football. That is weird.
Yes, but that is part of the problem. COVID's got us all mixed up. Our schedules are all mixed up, so we got to kind of fit in the end zone where we can this week. So we are here before Monday Night Football. This is a Monday night edition of the End Zone. We do have things to talk about, but you know what? Before we even get to that, we're going to tell all you good people where you can find the End Zone and all the great shows on the Phantom Podcast Network. Of course, it starts on our homepage at fbnet.podbean.com. Of course, you can also use the Podbean app on your mobile devices. Of course, we can also find the Phantom Podcast Network on all major podcast catchers now, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, or so many others. Also, too, we are on YouTube now. Obviously, if you're here watching us on YouTube, visit our YouTube channel. Give us a subscription. Give us some likes. We love it all.
Please subscribe. We would love you for it. Thank you.
Kevin would especially love you for it. He's lonely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And of course, too, you can contact us directly on email at fandompodcastnetwork@gmail.com. Visit our Facebook page. We keep you all updated with all kinds of things going on in the world of fandom. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Fandom Podcast Network, or on Twitter at FanPod Network. I'm Kyle. You can find me on Twitter at AKyleW or on Instagram, AKyleFandom. Kevin, where can people find you on the social media?
You can find me eating crow at Spartan_Phoenix on Twitter and Instagram.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Trust me. Of course, too, we love your support. And if you want some great gear, you can always go to TeePublic. We have some Endzone gear there. We've got all the great shows of the Fandom Podcast Network. Just go to teepublic.com, search for Fandom Podcast Network. Or type in the name of any show here on the network. You're going to find the gear. And of course, finally, too, we love the reviews, especially on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. We love those 5-star reviews, but any reviewing at all helps because, as always, we strive to make better podcasts to feed your ears. Now, again, we are in weird times in the NFL. We've got COVID everywhere. We got games moving around left and right. We got players getting benched. We got players punching other players and getting suspended. We got coaches getting fired. We got everything going on in the world of professional football, Kevin. So, you know what? I just say we dive into it, and we always start with things by going over the scores of week 5, Kevin. So
yes.
We still have a couple games. Tonight we have Chargers Saints.
Yes, Chargers Saints, the 1-3 Chargers against the 2-2 Saints.
Who do you got in that one real quick, Kevin? Who's your pick?
It's got to be Saints at home right now, but I would not be surprised if the Chargers did an upset here. Their defense is not half bad. They challenged your Chiefs a little while ago. The Saints quite aren't what they could be. You got Michael Thomas out. We'll talk about that. But I got to go Saints at home until I see a trend.
If there was fans of this game, I would say the Saints, but I'm calling it right now. Justin Herbert gets his first win as an NFL quarterback. I think the Chargers have been knocking on the door close the last couple of weeks. I think this is where they finally break through. The Saints just seem off to me. They don't seem like the same team. So,
that's a bold pick, Cotton.
Yeah, well, Cotton is in the house. And then Tuesday night, the Titans and Bills are finally going to play a football game.
Hold on. What is Tuesday night football music? We know what Monday night football music is. We know what Sunday music football is. But what is Tuesday night music? Is it like la di da 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 Tuesday night football?
No. I was thinking more like something like all my temporary friends are here on Monday night or on Tuesday night.
Jen in the chat gave me an eye roll emoji. Was that when I was doing this? Maybe with the.
That could very well be.
Yeah, okay.
That could very well. Who you got? Real quick? This is actually a big game. The 4-0 Bills, the 3-0 Titans. Who you got, Kevin?
Where is it at? Oh, it's in
Tennessee. Yeah, it's in Nashville.
Wow. Gosh, I'm gonna go with the Bills. Bills are on a streak right now.
The Titans haven't played in a while, and the Bills, it's hard to go against Josh Allen, right?
Yes,
the way he's playing right now. So, but let's go through the scores that have happened. So Thursday night, the Bears beat the Bucks. The Bears are 4-1. Weird game. Very, very weird game.
I did not get a chance to watch that, but I did watch some of the highlights or lowlights, depending on how you want to look at it. Brady forgot what down it was.
Well, Brady got beat up in that game. This was like a Khalil Mack old school game. He was all over Tom Brady.
Did you see that dude? He just like flipped up like he was like a
WWE hip toss
a light-weighted Lincoln log. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was crazy. Look out for the Carolina Panthers. They beat the Falcons 23-16, but I like what I'm seeing from Teddy Bridgewater, and I like their new coach, Matt Rule.
Yeah, I see them competing. They weren't this, when the Raiders went and beat them, they're not the same team, I don't think.
Yeah. Joe Burrow survived, but the Ravens beat the Bengals 27-3. We like Joe Burrow around here, so we're glad he lived. The Houston Texans get their first win of the season for Romeo Crennel. They would beat the Jaguars 30-14. We will get to the next game on the list here in a little bit. The Cardinals beat the Jets. Nobody cared. The Steelers just continue to roll and look really impressive. First time Pittsburgh has started 4-0 since 1979. They beat the Eagles 38-29. The Rams beat the football team 30-10. Really good moment in this, which we'll get to in a little bit. The shocker of the day, Kevin, has to be what the Miami Dolphins did to the San Francisco 49ers, because not only did they beat the 49ers,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say that was the shocker of the week?
The shocker of the week, yes.
Are you sure you don't want to reevaluate that?
No, I'm pretty sure I don't want to reevaluate that, because we'll get
you
to that.
Want to call the struggling Niners defeat, was it at home against the Miami Dolphins?
Lowly Miami Dolphins.
The shocker of the week.
Yes. And we will get to that. I will. Okay. I know
All
where
right.
you're going. But
okay. All right.
43, but the more of the score than anything, 43-17. I would have never guessed that in a million years. So the Cleveland Browns keep rolling on, beating the Indianapolis Colts 32-23. The Cowboys
that one surprised me. Yeah, Browns now 4-1.
Yeah. The Cowboys beat the Giants 37-14. We're gonna get to the
37-34.
I'm sorry, 37-34. I gotta give the Giants this real quick. They might be 0-5, but they're going out there. At least they're playing hard every game, unlike some other teams that are out there. So
yeah, isn't like all the teams that play at the Meadowlands like 0-9 right now?
Yeah, it's bad. And Russell Wilson did Russell Wilson things as the Seahawks come back to beat the Vikings 27-26.
Did you say Seahawks? That was funny.
Yes. Teams that were on bye this week were the Patriots, the Broncos, the Packers, and the Lions. So Kevin,
not by choice.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, I believe the Lions and Packers were by choice, but yes. So let's get to our teams. They played each other this week. The rivalry continues. The Raiders pulled the upset, went into Arrowhead, played hard, showed up, and beat my Kansas City Chiefs. And I said it on the internet. You saw it, Kevin. I've been very gracious about it. Your team showed up. They came to play. My team struggled. Yes, we had 2 touchdowns called back by penalties. There was a questionable pass interference call at one point, but it doesn't.
That was not questionable.
Oh, so what you admit it was pass interference?
I'm just saying. I thought it was a. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Abrams one on the bomb where he got there about 2 steps before the ball got there.
No, that was about the right time. If it was like maybe a second before, maybe, but that was about right.
Yeah. But you know what? The Chiefs didn't show up. Their offensive line played like crap. I'm going to flat out say it. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life that entire game.
When you say the Chiefs didn't show up, what do you mean?
I mean, I think they came in. I think there was a little bit of championship swagger, overconfidence. They've won 13 in a row. I think they kind of came in with maybe a little bit of, we've got this. And it's something that's happened with the Chiefs before in the Mahomes era. They get so relying on Patrick Mahomes just to bail him out of anything. And I think that's some of what happened in this game, because the defense played terrible and the offensive line was atrocious, because Patrick Mahomes was running for his life that entire football game. But on the flip side, your boys showed up. Your defense played good. Your offensive line gave Carr plenty of time to pass, and Carr made the throws. And you know what? Josh Jacobs, I've said since last year, he's a beast.
It's funny too, because he wasn't a beast at start. It wasn't until we had Booker come in and kind of make a couple of good plays, a nice little run, and challenged some positions there, and did something that I think then kind of woke up, not necessarily the offense, but definitely Josh Jacobs was go, okay, give me back in there. I'm ready now. That is that type of thing. But yeah, I was very critical on Carr and Gruden, especially on an email that I sent to Murph's Raider Fan Radio. And I was pretty harsh. I was saying how much I was losing I was losing confidence. My confidence in Carr and Gruden was pretty much next to nil. And I named all of these current and active QBs. There was 36 active QBs that have a playoff appearance. And there's like about 20 of those that actually have wins. And that was a very long list, and Carr was not one of those. And I went on to say basically stuff like that. I want consistency. I want originality. I want Carr to not be a Gruden yes man. I want Gruden to switch things up. I want chances to be taken. I want you guys to go for that 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 when you reach a certain distance. You can't do these conservative plays against the Chiefs. You just can't do it. And everything that I criticized them for, they did.
Yeah. And I think the one big observation that I took from this game, and it was actually one of my biggest concerns if this particular player was going to play or not. Henry Ruggs is a game changer for your team, because even if he's not getting thrown the ball, he's tying up somebody because they have to respect his speed so much.
It's funny you say that. I was on Silver and Black today. Group guys, they do their live chat. Go check out the Silver and Black UK guys if you're a Raider fan. Those guys are awesome, and I've been a guest a couple times there. I said that teams were game planning against him before he played any down in the NFL, and then he gets hurt, and when they realize that he is now like okay, it's huge, and he got to actually prove why he's a threat, and that's one of those picks that the Raider organization did to compete against your Chiefs.
Oh, they basically said, we need a version of Tyreek Hill.
Yes. Yeah, basically. The other thing, too, all these players on our team were stepping up and doing little things. Cleveland Farrell, our 4th-round pick, he stepped up. He was active. Corey Littleton came over from the Rams. We gave him a nice little contract. He'd been kind of quiet. He hasn't been great for the last few games. He came in because he was supposed to hit one job this year over Travis Kelce. Okay. Now, Kelce got his due. He got 100 yards, touchdown. I mean, the dude is Kelce. Kelce's going to get his due, right? But everything that game, and maybe they would say, there's Pat Kelce or missed pass to Kelce. And it was like Corey Littleton on the play, Corey Littleton on the play, Corey Littleton on the play. Corey Littleton was like assigned to him. And by the way, did you notice that Travis Kelce was the only one on the team wearing those bright yellow shoes and socks and gloves?
Him and Hill are usually the only ones who wear those, but Kelce always wears them. I don't know why.
It makes him really easy to spot, specifically when you're watching him on TV. So if he wants to be seen all the time, keep wearing those.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let me look at this from the Chiefs' perspective too, and I'm gonna because I first of all, it is a great win for your team. It's a needed win for you guys. I think
huge monkey off our back. 2012 was the last time that we won there. And Carr has not won there before. So, yeah.
A couple interesting stats of this game. First time Patrick Mahomes has lost as a quarterback in the NFL by more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
Kansas City was 13-2 going into this game against the AFC West since Mahomes took over at quarterback. But there are some issues here. There's some good things that I think come out of this for Kansas City. One, I do think, like I said, and I do think there was some championship swagger kicking in with Kansas City. They hadn't lost in 13 games. And I think there was some, we're the champs. We can overcome this. There's some, Patrick is Patrick. He can bail us out. I think it's a good reality bringer for the Kansas City Chiefs, because if you were to see on their on player Twitter feeds from Kansas City, it's like lesson learned across the board.
I'm just going to jump forward. Why do you think that he didn't shake Derek Carr's hand, or at least meet him in the field?
It's because of COVID. Remember last week, he gave Stephon Gilmore a hug out of respect. Gilmore was diagnosed with COVID. And you have to remember, Patrick Mahomes, his fiance, is pregnant.
Why didn't he at least try to meet him and like say something?
And the NFL has been like that. They're putting on pretty strict restrictions about players meeting. I actually watched a good thing on ESPN about that before the games, and they talked about how the NFL is like, we got to get this under control. So you guys need to kind of have more separation.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with the championship swagger thing being a reason why they lost. I think that it could be a number of things. Obviously, penalties also went in our favor as well. You guys had Las Vegas covered 20 yards on Sunday, including 2 touchdowns, and the penalties hurt the Chiefs. You guys were hit with 10 flags for like 94 yards.
Well, we had
I think we were like 6 to 8 penalties for like I want to say 79 or 59 yards. 59 yards.
Well,
so, yeah.
I think there was a huge momentum swing on the deep touchdown to Tyreek Hill that was called back for holding.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge momentum swing play.
It's not like you guys weren't making plays. You guys obviously Tyreek Hill had his thing, but I think the biggest thing in this, and I don't know, this is where I don't really agree with the whole championship swagger thing. Our defense kept Mahomes moving all the time, and we got to him. I think what was it, 2 times? I know one guy by this guy named Steve that just joined the Raiders, like off the practice squad. They signed him. Max Crosby got his hand on him, but it seems like they were always pressuring. There was a few times though that he got out of it and he was able to make a play or throw a touchdown. But he was always moving. He was not safe in the pocket. And I'm really proud of the defense, even though they gave up 32 points. They made crucial plays to you guys were, I think it was it 0-5 for third down conversions, I think, in this.
We were killing ourselves. We would get 2nd and 4, and then there'd be a holding or offsides penalty or something. So we were playing 3rd and long the whole time. You talk about the pressure on Mahomes, though, but
you guys had a lot of incomplete passes thanks to the Raiders defense too.
Yeah. But you talk about the pressure on Mahomes, and that's something I am concerned about, because in 3 of the 5 games they played this year, Mahomes has been running for his life. He was running for his life in the Chargers game. He was running for his life against the Patriots, and he was running for his life against the Raiders. The offensive line, there's an issue there, and it's not going to get any better because Kansas City lost the one offensive lineman. 0 contact play. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about, though. He used to play for your guys.
Assembly. Yes, he got hurt.
Assembly.
Hurt both his knees, right?
Blew out both of his knees on that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Assembly. Yep. I think it was a good thing for your team as far as building confidence as a building block, and I think it's a good thing for my team to maybe, like I said, bring them back down to earth. Realize, hey, things aren't just hunky dory here. We need to kind of put it back to the grindstone a little bit.
Couple things on the Raiders side. Trent Brown, we finally got him back, and he proved why he is, important to that offensive line. Carr's 347 passing yards set a season high, surpassing 300-yard mark back-to-back weeks. Carr's longest pass of the day came with a 72-yard touchdown. Also, I mentioned that my buddy Kevin Granberry, who is the now president of the Raiders Booster Club in Atlanta, came up with a great quote. Said Derek Carr is the first Raiders QB to have 2 touchdown passes of over 50 yards since Tom Flores did it in 1966, also against the Chiefs. Interesting trivia there. But see, this is the type of stuff that I want to see more of. We need, and this is a good building blocks. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm actually very happy that we have a bye now because we got guys that need to get healthy and healed up. And so I'm excited about that. All the COVID testing is going to be happening every single day. Just because they got a week off doesn't mean they're not getting tested. Everyone's getting tested. It's the NFL thing. They want to make sure everyone's ready when they go into practice and everything. But I just want to mention one thing, Kyle. By the way, thank you for the kind words that you said after we won that game. You were very humbled, and I appreciate that. I just want to say that I had put up this post before the game saying I'm not feeling good about this, but I hope that I see some consistency and miracles can happen. And we got our miracle. And I said, we didn't win a Super Bowl today, but we got a huge monkey off our backs. Baby steps. I hope my Raiders can learn from this and play like this consistently. Very proud of the Raiders today. Winning one game against the Chiefs at Arrowhead doesn't make it a marquee rivalry yet. Winning a few more against them will. That was one big thing too. We just haven't been a rivalry with you guys for a while because we've sucked for so long. So hopefully it'll get more interesting as we go.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, you were talking to me a few minutes ago about why I didn't consider this a shocker or
Yes.
the shocking upset. I'm going to play something from last week's end zone, if I may.
Yes, please do.
Of course, leads into the fact that yes, it is Raiders Chiefs week, but this is a weird Raiders Chiefs game. It's just got a weird vibe to it for me, Kevin. For me,
why is that, Kyle?
Well, no, seriously, on the Chiefs side, this feels like a legit trap game for the Chiefs. They
really?
Seriously, hear me out.
That's a good one, Kyle.
So,
trap game, really? I still don't get that. It's not a trap game.
However, your reaction and lack of faith in your football team
wasn't lack of faith, dude. It was just numbers, plain and simple. I mean, we had the odds against us, and I basically said we needed a miracle, and everyone that came up and produced that miracle. But I do have a little crow to eat.
Yes. Let's talk about your friend who has joined you here on the
when I went on the Silver and Black UK show on Saturday, we had our game predictions and score predictions, and Ollie and Tony and Mitch, they all said the Raiders were going to win, and they gave their score predictions. And I said, nah, Chiefs are going to win 42-16. And I said, if the Raiders win, I'll be more than happy to eat crow. So I'm saying to you now, Kyle, I am more than happy to eat crow.
and Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not the only Raider fan I know who should be eating crow right now. As you know, you have visited me and met my good friend and roommate, Doug Kendall. He got up after the first quarter because he was so disgusted with what he saw and went back into the computer room. It didn't come back until the fourth quarter.
You know, it's funny. There was a part of me that was like, I really don't want to watch this game. I really don't. But I got sucked into it. I saw this, I was working through the first quarter and then I got home and I saw the score at like 14-3. And I'm like, you know what? I still want to see this. I want to see how my players do. And I ended up watching the game. That late game interception that the Raiders did against Mahomes, I yelled so loud I scared the crap out of my dad. But everyone thought the Raiders were going to lose that game. So let's make that clear. And but the Raiders surprised everybody, and more importantly, they surprised me, and this gives me hope. But let's keep doing it. Don't just do it one and done. It's not going to matter. If they don't keep consistency and they start tanking and start doing old Raiders, this win isn't going to matter. So,
well, as I said to our good buddy Murph, congrats on the win. Your boys played hard and earned it.
But he has to rap now. He has to rap now. Have you ever heard about this?
No, I haven't heard it, but let me finish. I said, but we will see you in Vegas.
Yes. And you guys are going to have a bye, which is great, which always seems to happen. Hopefully it'll be more interesting since hopefully we'll be better. But yeah, Murph promised, 3 years ago, whenever it was, like the after the last time we won them, I think it was that Thursday night, he says that he will do a rap on live on his RFR whenever they beat the Chiefs next. So
he's had plenty of time to write material.
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. So anyway, good game. Let's hope that get another one.
Yep. So let's move on. First and foremost, I'm confused. I don't know the schedule anymore, Kevin.
I don't either, Kyle. What's going on? Especially with fantasy, it's confusing. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so, the NFL moved some games around to accommodate some COVID things. We've got the Jets at Chargers moving from week 6 to week 11. The Jaguars at Chargers moves from week 8 to week 7. The Chargers at Broncos moves from week 11 to week 8. The Chargers at Dolphins moves from week 7 to week 10. And Dolphins at Broncos moves from week 6 to week 11. If I'm the Chargers, I'm a little bit ticked because my schedule's been completely turned upside down.
Do you think a plane of professional football players is going to land in a city and show up at a hotel, and then they go, guys, that game's not till next week?
At this point, I'm not ruling anything out. I understand the need for protection for COVID. Kevin, I almost wish to just say, okay, we're just putting a bye week in the middle of the season. We're going to get this under control. Everybody's in a bubble and just try to
Yeah.
get it
I guess
sorted out.
they're trying not to delay the season anymore if they can.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If it comes down to it, they may have to, but we'll see. So
The Super Bowl's in Tampa. Weather's not an issue.
this is true. Yes. Yeah.
So, Kevin, we have another coach down. We have another coach down. And not only
Hold
do we have
on.
a coach down.
Not only do we have a coach down, but we have a GM down.
Exactly.
Of the same team.
Yeah. The Falcons finally decided to clear house. Dan Quinn and the head coach and the GM Thomas Dimitroff have been fired. Raheem Morris, the former Buccaneers coach, has been named the interim coach, and Rich McKay is looking to, for the rest of the year, kind of handle the GM duties. Of course, Rich McKay, the GM for the Buccaneers during the Super Bowl era. I know Kevin doesn't remember that particular era that fondly, but he's also been the president of the Atlanta Falcons for several years now. So basically, I think this is an audition for Raheem Morris to become the head coach because I know they really like him.
Yeah, Dimitrov, he's been a voice for a while when I was living in Atlanta. I remember when he became the GM. I remember when they extended his contract, when Dan Quinn came in. I think most of Atlanta was just kind of like, all right, But that team is obviously not motivated well at all. Poor Atlanta.
Well, here's even a bigger kicker. It's come out that Arthur Blank will not commit to Matt Ryan going forward.
I'm not surprised, and he's on one of my fantasy teams, and I mean not commit to him.
They've been putting up good offensive numbers, just their defense that's atrocious.
Yeah, Matt Ryan did not do well last week, but yeah.
So, but going back to the NFC South, this is an interesting story, and this is what I'm talking about. Where there's something more going on with the Saints than what people are talking about. Michael Thomas is out for tonight's Monday Night Football game. Now he's been injured, but he's not out tonight because of the injury. He's out tonight because he decked one of his teammates.
Yeah, that's not good. Apparently he's got a temper, and something happened there.
Yeah, he punched teammate Chauncey Gardner-Johnson during a fight in practice on Saturday. That's just not good. There's something going on with the Saints. I'm going to ask you this, Kevin, real quick.
Yep.
Could there be a house cleaning in New Orleans after this season? Drew Brees is probably done. Could it be time for Sean Payton to move on just because they need a different voice in the locker room?
It's very possible. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the season. But I do want to bring a question up to you that Jennifer brought up in the chat. And by the way, hello, Ron, the Materator. Good to see you. Because when she asked this question, I was like, how is the Denver Pats game canceled, postponed, and the Bills-Titans game not?
Because the Pats game, Pats had players that came up with COVID on the short notice. The Titans game, the people with the Titans who have come up with COVID have been staff members that weren't exposed to the players.
Okay.
So that's why that's happening. It's because there were Pats players that came
right, which is a little more different. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Cool.
Well, let's talk about the cool thing that happened and the horrific thing that happened and the symmetry between them, Kevin.
Oh, geez, dude.
On the great side, Alex Smith returned to the field. He was not the starter for Washington. He was the backup. Kyle Allen gets hurt in this game against the Rams. Alex Smith takes the field. Just to see him on the field and see his family's reaction in the stands was absolutely wonderful. And the fact he then proceeded to get sacked 6 times because the Washington football team is horrible. But it was good to see him after everything he's been through, that horrific injury and all of the horror that took place afterwards with the infection. And
how is he perceived in Kansas City, Alex Smith?
He is highly respected. We love him in Kansas. You got to remember, he didn't get us to a Super Bowl, but he made us respectable again. And he was very good quarterback for us.
He beat the Raiders many times. So, yeah.
And he was a very good quarterback for us, and he handled everything when Patrick Mahomes came to town like an utter professional. And we, Kansas City fans to this day, will root for Alex Smith wherever he goes. But on the flip side of that, and this just seems like horrific symmetry, Dak Prescott. Compound fracture of his ankle. About everything bad that could happen happened. his foot was not in the right direction, Kevin.
Did you notice that when he went down and he was looking at his foot, he like kind of tried to pop the back so it wasn't as
Yeah.
weird looking as it was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
He had surgery late last night. Apparently the surgery went well. Everything will be on track for him to return next season. But
So when I was messaging with you and Jen, I was asking about his contract situation, and he's on the franchise tag. What was it, 31 something million dollars he's getting?
correct.
Is that all guaranteed?
Yeah, franchise tag. It's not 100% guaranteed, but he's getting a big chunk of that. But the problem is he's not under contract now after this year.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with him in Dallas.
That's going to be a
There's
big
a part
question.
of me that would say I would love for Dallas to step up and say, because he's going to be fine in about 4 to 6 months. In the off season starts. I think that they should give him a contract.
It's going to be hard to say. Stephen Jones did go on record today saying that he plans to have Dak Prescott be a Cowboy for a very long time. So
Yeah.
Good for Stephen Jones. I will say this. I don't think this injury is as devastating to the Cowboys as people think it is, because they're one of the few teams that has a legit NFL backup, and that
Andy
is Andy Dalton. And
Yeah.
their wide receivers are still phenomenal. CeeDee Lamb is in Rookie of the Year talk. That kid has been playing.
They're tight end too. Yeah, they a lot of offense.
Yeah. So, and Zeke Elliott's still back there. So I don't think this is a death knell for Dallas like it would be for some other teams. But
Right.
yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Andy Dalton in a few minutes. But that's covering everything in the news. Kevin and I are going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to preview Week 6 and, of course, give the top-notch, world-beating, signature Endzone mediocre fantasy football advice. We'll be right back after we tell you what is going on around the Fandom Podcast Network.
Thank you for listening. We hope you're enjoying this podcast. We like to continue to feed your ears by inviting you to listen to the Fandom Podcast Network and all of the other awesome shows we have to offer. It starts with our flagship show, Culture Clash, our weekly pop culture news podcast. Bloody Kings, our Highlander podcast. Couch Potato Theater, our podcast celebrating our favorite movies. Time Warp, the Fandom Flashback podcast discussing a year in movies and our favorite pop culture topics. Endzone, the NFL podcast. Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast. Union Federation, our Star Trek and Orville podcast. Hair Metal, the 80s and early 90s rock metal podcast. Type 40, our Doctor Who podcast. Lethal Mullet, a 1980s and 90s action film podcast. What a Piece of Junk, a Star Wars podcast. And our newest show, Making Treks, a new Star Trek podcast with a deep dive into the final frontier with host Mark Newbold and Adam P. O'Brien. You can enjoy all of these great Fandom Podcast Network shows on our master feed at fpnet.podbean.com. Fandom Podcast Network is also on Apple Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can also find us on Facebook under Fandom Podcast Network. You can also email us at fandompodcastnetwork@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter under Fandom Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and remember, respect others and enjoy your fandom. Kyle, Jen asks us, and I think we kind of said it last time. So she says, will it be the Jimmy GQ man crush or not because he was benched? And no, we kind of are going with Gardner Minshew right now.
When Jimmy GQ gets benched and his QBR rating is 15, yeah, he's officially given up the mantle.
I'm also seeing some possible Justin Herbert. He's kind of man crushy too. I'm just saying.
No. Justin Herbert still looks like he should be in high school, kid.
No, it's the Gardner Minshew a man crush award right now because of the hair and the bandana. The very Andre Agassi thing he's got going on. So,
but before we get to talking about the dreamy Gardner Minshew and those awards, let's look at Week 6 of the NFL season, Kevin, because it's still bizarre.
Yes, real quick before I just want to ask your opinion real quick. We don't have any updated power rankings, but I did want to get your opinion because your Chiefs were number 1 with Packers behind at number 2, Steelers 3, Bills 4, Seahawks 5, Ravens 6, Titans 7, Buccaneers 8, Colts 9, Browns 10 into this week. And of course, we still have 4 teams that haven't played yet with tonight's game and Tuesday night's game. Where do you think that the Chiefs will stand after this week, depending, I guess, what happens? Where do you think they'll go? Like top 3 maybe instead of number 1 now?
I see them being in that 3 to 5 range because I think Pittsburgh will be number 1. I think the Packers will be number 2. I think they could be right there at 3 and 4 with the Seahawks.
I'm kind of
the Bills could be
kind of feeling
Bills,
the Seahawks might jump up to the top.
Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh number 1. I think a lot of people are really impressed by what they see at Pittsburgh. I think it kind of depends on what happens with Buffalo, Tennessee on Tuesday night too.
Right. Yeah. So, and the Raiders were at 17. They'll probably maybe jump up to 12 or 13. You think maybe?
Maybe even up to 10 with the way teams fell this week. So
it'll
be interesting. So
yeah, looking forward after Tuesday's game. By the way, hold on, real quick. The waiver wire still kick in on Wednesday morning. So after that Tuesday night game, you got to look at that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
you don't have a full day to look at the players from that game. So
yeah, exactly. Well, let's take a look at week 6 because it gets a little weird. No Thursday night game this week because of all the scheduling. Yep. So everything starts on Sunday afternoon, 1:00. We've got Chicago at Carolina. This could be a feisty game. Carolina's favored by 3. Could be feisty. Detroit at Jacksonville. Nap time. Atlanta at Minnesota. Nap time.
Houston, depending on what happens with Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So Adam Madison could be interesting.
Yeah. Houston at Tennessee. It could be interesting if Houston's actually going to turn around and start playing some football under Romeo. Washington at the Giants. It's the NFC least. Who cares? This is a good early game, though, Kevin. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah. Yep. I see Pittsburgh that game, though.
Yeah. Baltimore at Philly. Yeah, nap time. Cincinnati at Indianapolis. Yeah, nap time. Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Could be a good game.
All fans of all these teams, if they hear you, they're going to go, what? That Chiefs fan said, what?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's right.
Yeah, so they're going to say, oh, you AFC West elitist. Green Bay at Tampa Bay. That will be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Rams at San Francisco could get ugly. The Jets at Miami. Yeah, not really. And of course, because it was moved around, it's actually a 1 p.m. game. Denver at New England. Denver's a disaster area because of injuries right now. It's
just to note here, it's showing the Sunday night game Rams at San Francisco.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the Sunday night guys.
Yeah.
And we get 2 Monday games. And actually, if nothing else, they could be interesting to watch. Arizona at Dallas. It's always fun to watch Kyler Murray play football, whether they win or lose.
Yep.
But I think the game most people are going to be paying attention to, has a 5 p.m. Eastern start, which means I'm going to have to hustle my butt home from work that day. Kansas City at Buffalo. This is a huge game in the AFC. There's some serious playoff implications.
Yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo is the first game, and then it's Arizona, Dallas. That's a big game for your boys in Buffalo because that there is possible home field advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah, so some good games in week 6, some sleepers. We'll take it. So, Kevin, let's talk a little mediocre fantasy football. But as always, that segment starts with the Gardner Minshew II Man Crush Fantasy Player of the Week. And Kevin, I think we have
a unanimous choice on this one.
Yeah, there's just no way around it, and that is Pittsburgh rookie receiver Chase Claypool with 110 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns receiving, and 1 rushing touchdown. Dude was just on fire.
He is, but more importantly, he seems to have the trust of Roethlisberger. I mean, it's like Juju Smith who? I mean, seriously. Yeah. It's crazy how much target, and this guy's been money and earning it, man. So yeah, he's on a lot of waiver wires, so he'll probably be one of the number 1 pickups right now. But you got a runner-up.
Yeah, for me, and this is just more personal respect than anything. Alex Smith to come back like he did, and to get on the field and play. That's just phenomenal.
Respect. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
Kevin, you got, but in fantasy realm, I would have given this guy much consideration for runner up, and I think he has been a great find for the Carolina Panthers in regular NFL football, and a great find in fantasy too. And I
Yeah,
think he's good.
you were talking to me before that we started on broadcast. Why didn't I choose my QB Derek Carr? I want to see more from him before I choose him again. To me, showing some consistency is what's important for this award, and I choose Mike Davis, the running back, backup to Christian McCaffrey. He's been doing quite well. He went 16 attempts for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then he went for 5 passes for another 27 yards for over 100 total yards. And in my fantasy league for my ESPN, he got me 45 points. And I have him in more than one league. And he's done quite well for me. And for someone who's a backup right now, do we have a running back controversy? I don't think so, but I'm just saying. What a good,
No, I don't.
what a good problem to have, right? So
yeah. But I do think it is going to change the dynamic when Christian McCaffrey comes back.
Agreed. Maybe he doesn't have to be the workhorse, you know.
So, but let's look at some waiver wire names, Kevin. There's a few interesting ones here. We both agree.
Can I just make a point before you start talking about it?
Yeah.
What I think fantasy players really need to figure out now, because going into this season, we had an idea of where the bye weeks were. That's all out the window now. So you have to be very diligent about not just, you have to go back and look, wait a minute, who has a bye week now and you have to kind of reevaluate stuff. And with the injuries too, and the possible COVID thing, you got to be a little bit more careful here. You got to be careful who you drop and stuff. So I just want to mention that going into this.
Yeah, no, it's COVID, everything. Kevin, real quick, I do think all this COVID stuff and how teams see their players and stuff, it's going to affect fantasy future football going forward, because I think you're going to have a lot of team shares and things like that maybe you didn't have before. It's going to be really interesting to see how that develops. But let's look at the names on the waiver wire. We both have Andy Dalton high on our lists.
Sorry, Jen's cracking me up here because first of all, her choice for power rankings with Seattle 1, Pittsburgh 2, and KC 3, and then when we mentioned why we choosing Gardner Minshew, and she goes, "Okay, got it." Andre Agassi.
That's why she's queen of the stomp.
That was good. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
We both agree Andy Dalton's going to be high on the waiver wire list.
Yeah, when it comes to quarterbacks, starting consistency, definitely go with Andy Dalton. And gonna throw it out there. You put it up there as well. Derek Carr, he's shown what he's capable of in these weird bye weeks and injuries going on. He's definitely at least a streaming quarterback. Dalton, I would say starter, depending on how well he does, but with all the weapons that he's got, yeah, same thing for Carr. We'll see.
Yeah. And obviously, we just talked about Chase Claypool. Not a lot of people had him. He's probably going to be number
in any of our leagues, no one pick him up. I'm going to do it instead. So let me pick up Chase Claypool in all of our leagues. So just don't even try.
Yeah. Also, Henry Ruggs III, because of his injury, was available in a lot of leagues as well, Kevin.
Yeah, and plus, when he was available, he was more of kind of like a decoy-ish type thing, and he was kind of injured and stuff. But he's now shown that he's a deep ball threat, and that means they're going to be doing it a lot more.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned him earlier, Alexander Madison of the Minnesota Vikings. If Dalvin Cook is going to miss significant time, he had an MRI on his foot today. We're still waiting on the results of that.
I'm still high on Laviska Shenault, the wide receiver for Jacksonville. I have him on a few leagues. Make sure you check him out because Gardner Minshew is still a thing. So
I think you just like saying Laviska.
I do actually. Yeah. Yeah. What I love the fact though is that when they show the pictures of these waiver wire pickups of these young players, they show them in their college uniforms.
Yeah, exactly. So
did I miss? Well, hold on. Kirk Cousins is on this list. Did I miss something? Is he being consistent enough?
No, he's had a horrid year.
Okay, well, Ryan Fitzpatrick's kind of sneaking up if you're desperate, but I'm going to say wait. I'd rather go with Carr or Andy Dalton.
Just wait. It's going to be Tua time in Miami soon anyway. So
yeah, when's that going to be a thing?
Give it a few more weeks. Fitzmagic threw out a little Fitzmagic yesterday, so I think he's safe for another couple of weeks. Maybe when Miami ever has a bye week. Who knows when those happen?
Oh, honorable mention, Ward, wide receiver for Philadelphia.
Yeah, he should have been a higher pickup anyway. He had a good season for them last year with all
And
the injuries.
Jamal Williams is on a lot of waiver wires because of the bye week last week with the Packers. He's a pickup too. So there you go.
Yeah. So okay, well, how are things looking in you fantasy wise? I know our weeks aren't complete yet, there, Kevin.
I mean, like I said, the tonight's game and actually tomorrow's game, it's looking okay. I mean, I'm gonna probably win out of my 5. I'm probably gonna win win maybe 2 or 3, and then I'm gonna lose.
I've got for one for sure win, one for sure loss, and one that's hanging in the balance, depending on what happens tonight and tomorrow.
It looks like I'm gonna win the ESPN league that we're all in. I've got Traquan Smith versus Stephon Diggs, but I'm up by 36 points, so I should win that one. We'll see what happens. I have a game. I'm going up against the Queen of the Stomp in one of these games. Or what is it? It is the Raider Nerd League here, the Yahoo League. And right now, here's the deal. Jen is up 167 to 140. Okay. They're projecting me to win because I have Breeze tonight. But I'm down 140 to 167. So I need a good game from Breeze tonight. And that's what they're expecting him to do. But if things get weird, who knows? She could pull this out. So
Drew Brees has been benched by me in my one league. I am starting Justin Herbert tonight. So
okay. That should be interesting. Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to actually watching that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Herbert's been fun so far, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. It's COVID. Things are wild here around the end zone. We're gonna get this pegged down to a days, make it a little easier for everybody. We're working on that.
We got a lot of stuff going on with other podcasts, and we're trying to not go crazy. So we do this for free for fun, but it feels like work sometimes. But you guys can help us out with reviews and also the subscriptions to YouTube. So yeah.
It already feels like I'm crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for listening. Hope things go well. If you got teams playing still, week 5 might never end, Kevin. I just, Kevin's got a little crow pie to eat. So I'm
gonna look for a name for this guy. I'm not gonna eat him. He's too cute. No.
He's a Raven. His name is Lamar.
No.
I tried.
This is a Raider curl right there. Look at that. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. Look at that.
His name is Jackson. Jackson.
Yeah, look at him.
Hollywood Jackson. There we go.
Anyway, thank everyone for watching. Enjoy your Tuesday night football, and tonight's Monday night. Go figure. Yeah. So there we go.
Until then, we're going to call an audible. Hopefully we'll lead you guys once again into the end zone.
Bye, Chad. Bye, Jen. Thank you for checking in. Appreciate you. Baby Wombat. Call Baby Wombat.
Bye, everybody.